Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are excited to be joined by Rose Hope, the CEO of Rose's Corner Consulting, who's serving Texas virtually with all of her work, especially those in the neurodiverse system as far as schooling, with their parents, with staff. She offers so many things, and we're back with her today to talk more about this. So first and foremost, Rose Hope, welcome back.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. Well, tell us a little bit about what Rose's Corner Consulting is and how we can also contact you too.
Well, what we specialize in is helping parents with neurodiverse children navigate the school system and also navigate their home environment. We also provide training for individual or independent schools that do not have a fully fleshed out special education department. And so we come in and we help them work with the neurodiverse population of within their student populations. And the ways to reach me is through our website at rosescorner.clientsecure.me. And you can put in a consultation form and we can get to you right away.
All right. Thank you. And what's the website?
The website is rosescorner.clientsecure.me.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. So, what did you want to share for everyone today? I mean, we'd love to find out about your background, what brought you here, and I know, of course, the work you're doing.
Well, I started off as a therapist. I started off counseling adults, children, and teens. But we noticed in the adult population, once you get into the role of being a parent, that weighs a lot on a lot of the stressors that a lot of our adult clients were dealing with. So, for the last 5 years, we transitioned to specifically help parents and parents of neurodiverse children. And when I say neurodiverse children, that's anything from ADHD to autism to sensory processing to dyslexia, depression, bipolar disorder. There's so many things out there that parents deal with that children are getting not diagnosed with at an alarming rate, especially now in 2024. So we help the parents kind of restructure their home. And we also provide group therapy and group support for the parents. And then we also train teachers and staff within small schools on how to deal with these children as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. Well, can we just dive back a little into you and kind of what brought you here?
Well, what brought me here is, like I said, dealing with a lot of parents. And I noticed that the number one stressor, of course, we have income, you have their personal relationship, and then top three is their children. And then when you have children, we all expect them to, do everything on their own, hit all the milestones, develop, typically, as they say, but sometimes that's not the case. And a lot of parents go into kind of mourning the diagnosis, which means mourning what they thought their children, were going to be or were going to accomplish. And so we help them get over that hump. And it's not that they can't accomplish those things, they might be able to accomplish it a different way. And so just seeing those parents, it really, really touched me. And I'm like, I'm going to focus on the parents. I'm going to focus on these individuals that don't have a lot of support. When you have an atypical child, a lot of parenting resources are for typical, children that don't have any delays. They hit all their milestones, they just need a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But that is not the case when you have a neurodiverse child. And there's just not a lot of resources out there to help these parents or help teachers in, whatever district they're in or whatever school system. Like, how do I teach this kid? How do I, reach them? How do I bring the full potential out of them? And that's what we're here for.
That makes sense. Thank you for that. And also, just want to point out, we're going to go over specifically, some of the ways that you help, people, parents, teachers, etc. And you, as a professional therapist, clearly, you mentioned it all began in your closet, right? Every night after 9 o'clock, because you were counseling your fellow middle schoolers. So people
Yes.
have always felt that they could reach out to you and that empathetic and the charisma that you have, right?
Yes, the way my parents tell it, this was back, where every child didn't have a phone. So I'd have to run the cord,
Yeah,
to
I
the
remember
closet and have,
clearly.
the dial up and everything. And we just talk and talk. And I was the go-to. If you have an issue, boys, girls, anybody, come to me, talk to me. I'm here for you. And, sometimes I get referrals, I'm like, I don't even know you, but let's talk about it. Let's do it. And I just did that all through high school, all through middle school, all through college. And I'm like, you know what? Let me make a profession out of this. And that was many years ago. And mental health wasn't as mainstream as it's
Hmm.
becoming right now. A lot of people now are saying, you know what, mental health is just as important as physical health. It goes together. And so I'm so happy to see that turn in society. So I'm like, this is something that I've been passionate about, and to make a career out of it and to make a living out of it is something that, I'm very blessed to do, and very happy that I get to do, every day.
Got it. Well, thank you for that. And also, just again, the website, right? When you spell, can you just share the correct spelling of the website too? Roses Corners, Rozes
Yes, it's Rose's
Corner.
Corner with the Z. The regular Rose was taken. So it's a Rose's Corner with the Z. That client secure, because everything is confidential. We are HIPAA compliant because we are dealing with clients and patients with sensitive information. So Rose's Corner with the Z dot client secure dot ME. So just go and fill out a consultation form and we'll get to you right away.
And again, this is all in the state of Texas, right?
We serve all of the state of Texas. I'm licensed in the state of Texas. Eventually, we will branch out. And if there's someone that's not in the state of Texas, I can still find you resources. I just can't be your provider, but I can find you resources all over the United States,
All
some
right.
international as well.
Great. Well, did you want to break down some of the offerings, some of the services you have?
Yes. So the first service we offer is parent support. So if you're struggling with, you have a child with delays, whether they've been diagnosed formally by your pediatrician or you
Hmm.
as a parent, you just have a feeling in your gut that something's not right. We come to you virtually in your home and we can help you deal with that. We give you everything from interventions for the child and interventions for yourself to kind of get through it. The second service we offer is for the school. So if you have a school age child, an early intervention is usually, before the age of 5, but we still kind of bump that up to 7, because when you have a delay, you may, be a little bit behind. So for 7 and younger, if they're in school, we go into the school virtually, and we can also help train the teachers and train the staff on what resources, what accommodations, and what services need to be in place in school for that child to be successful. And we also train staff, and we also train graduate students out there, just new therapists, bushy eyed, ready to jump in there. And we train them specifically if they're interested in the neurodiverse population and what that looks like specifically. And then we also groups for parents to kind of, collaborate and discuss and not feel so alone. So we offer a lot of things. So I really just encourage anyone to just reach out to us and let us know what you need, and we'll meet you where you're at.
And you also accept some insurances too. And I would love to hear, some client stories specifically about the children or the parents that you've been working with.
Well, I keep it very general because I don't want anyone to be like, hey, that's me, but generally, the biggest thing for parents is in the early intervention stage is getting over the initial diagnosis. So, you feel like, something's not right and something's a little bit off, but just to hear it, it still can be very crushing to parents. But we've seen parents start from being depressed about a diagnosis all the way to being active, being advocates,
Hmm.
and their child blossoms because, a lot of kids with any neurodiverse child, they pick up cues different ways, and so when you're feeling down as a parent, the child will pick up on that. But when these parents are able to pick themselves up, they see like the progress in their parents and they see it in themselves as well. And so that's why we target the parents. The parents are, kind of the models for the children. And we've seen a lot of that specifically to where, nothing happens overnight, but we've seen parents that were just depressed,
Yep.
crying at night, just down and out when they first heard that their child wasn't typically developing to, advocating. I see posts, I keep up with my clients. They're posting, hey, he just joined soccer, he just joined gymnastics, you know,
Yay.
he's reading to, I had one child who was nonverbal, but he began reading and he was reading to students in a higher grade level. So he was in a lower grade level and his reading skills were so exceptional that he was reading to older children. So it's little things like that we just want to bring out what's special about each child. And we want to comfort the parents about the future, which sometimes can be very daunting and a little bit scary.
Got it. Well, thank you for that. And, specifically, there's different types of modalities you're, using if you want to share some of this with us and the whole team. Who else is part of this team? How many people do you have working for you?
Well, we have a ton. So basically what we do is we train in-house, right? And then we
Mhm.
contract. So as we get clients, we match the clients to
Okay.
that specific provider. So we don't have any, let's say, full-time providers that are sitting that are, you have to have this provider. No, if you say, hey, I want someone who speaks Spanish, then we're going to find you a Spanish, provider, a Spanish advocate. If you want someone who is, let's say, more focused on speech, versus occupational issues, then we'll find someone who's more focused on speech and occupation than occupational to be your advocate. So we contract with different people. And then we have a lot of students as well that are fully, licensed, but they just need their contact hours. And so they're ready and willing to sit with parents and give them
Yeah.
all the resources they need as far as advocacy. And then what we offer specifically because we deal with young children
Hmm.
is play therapy. So most children learn through play and typical or atypical. Play is just the best way to just get in there and you and the child are on the same level and they understand. It's like play therapy is like speaking their language to them, even whatever delay that may be. So we really focus a lot on play-based therapy.
Yeah.
We also do cognitive behavioral therapy for the parents because when you change your way of thinking, then eventually you can change your behaviors. So we really want to get them to really, really figure out that this is not the end. This is just the beginning. And, if you change how you
Yeah.
think, then you'll start to see results. So we focus a lot on CBT solution focus too. We want to have some goals and we want to reach those goals.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of different things, but those are like the top that we do that parents like. And, we do brief therapy as well, because, we want results for our children and we can't go Freudian with it and start with, tell me about, back. We want to start here and now. What are we working with? Get to the issues, provide interventions and move forward.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Well, also, we still have 10 more minutes in the show. What else would you like to share with us?
You mentioned insurance earlier. So we do accept some insurances, but even if your insurance does not is not in network
Hmm.
with us, we can provide you with what's called a super bill. And the super bill you can take to your insurance and they can still reimburse you. So we work with that and we will set that up for you right away.
All right. Thank you. Now, clearly you're passionate about the work you're doing. You've been helping so many over the years, and I know your goal is really to help people, um, you know, mentally. I mean, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, so in a better capacity, right? To have a better mental health. And you mentioned that earlier, the better, right? That you do
Yes.
get involved. How does it work in the state of Texas? Like, is there anyone that's doing these types of pre-screening in their elementary schools, a pre-K program, or how do you get to know your future potential patients or clients, do I say?
That is an awesome question. And that is one of the number one questions we get. Like, how do we get started? So, if your child is school aged, a lot of the times in pre K, if you're in a district that offers pre K or in kindergarten, which is state mandatory, so you have to go to school, they have a diagnostician that's in the school that can help diagnose any type of delay or neurodiversity. If your child is younger than that, which is when you want to catch it, your pediatrician at those 1 year checkups and 2 years, 18 months, they can catch it. The goal is to catch it before 3 years old, but even if you don't, the sooner the better. But your pediatrician can catch it before school, and then your school district diagnostician can catch it in school once you start school, whether that's pre-K or kindergarten.
Awesome. Thank you. What else do you want to enlighten us with?
I just want to enlighten parents to not be scared. We're here to not just harp on diagnosis or make you feel like, scared. We're here to actually help you and support you wherever you're at. If you're pro diagnosis, we can help you. If you're not ready for a formal diagnosis, we can help you as well. It's all about just the early interventions that can start in the home and then transition into the school. So, it's rosescorner.clientsecure.me. So go ahead and just fill out the consultation form online and we will reach out to you and then we will start and work with you where you're at.
Got it. Awesome. In the course of your work, you've been doing this now for how many years, Rose? When did Rose's Corner Consulting start?
Rose's Corner Consulting, I was an advocate. I was under another company. So I've been an advocate for parents for over 5 years. So I branched out into my own company probably about 2 years ago.
Hmm.
But as far as advocating for parents, it's been over five. And as far as being a therapist, it's been over a decade.
Got it. All right, thank you. Um, I know this is our first Zoom call, by the way. We're also live on the Zoomcast as well as the podcast. And is there anything else that we talked about that you want to kind of bring up again for today to kind of recap about your services?
I just want to recap that a lot of parents may be scared of labels, and labeling their child early or too early. And we're not about that. We're not about the labels. You tell us what you want to do, and you don't have to have a formal diagnosis. You don't have to have a formal label. You just have to be a parent that says, hey, I need help. This isn't going well in the home. This isn't going well in the school. I need help. Or please connect me with other parents so we can trade ideas. I feel alone. Connect me with other parents. Or you can be a student. I'm in this field. I feel like I'm drowning, and we can help you as well.
All right. And you mentioned just the state of Texas that you work in, right? But again, do you have in-person services or it is all just virtual?
It's all virtual for now. After COVID-19, a lot of parents prefer virtual. So the
Yeah,
brick and mortar, the parents prefer virtual because they're moving around. And also, if you have a neurodiverse child, it's hard to leave to another appointment and another appointment and another appointment. There's a ton of appointment neurodiverse parents have to attend. So being able to pop on your phone on your lunch break, being able to pop into a corner you with your laptop, being able to just take a moment
yeah.
anywhere you are is really, really beneficial to neurodiverse parents who just can't up and go and have that same, time restraints of, typical developing children and
And
their.
what age do you work with? And beginning at what age?
We can begin at age 0. Because sometimes you can catch some of these things early in utero, and we can begin working with the parents if they know that they may be having a child that's going to have any challenges. And then we go up to age 7. So right now it's age 7 and under.
Perfect. All right. And what else did you want to add?
I just want to add that, we are here, we are all over Texas, we are expanding, but don't let the Texas scare you. A couple of years, I worked out of New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. I've been an advocate for a lot of different companies as well, because some companies pay for advocacy services for their employees. So I do have knowledge outside of Texas. So if you're outside of Texas and you're listening to this, just, give us a call and we'll find you the resources in your state.
Perfect. I like that in case someone else is, interested. And not just that's kind of you to do with your expanded network, right? And I don't know how it works with insurance and all, but you mentioned there's also a sliding scale. And what if there's someone who doesn't have insurance? Is there any state resources that could help?
More than likely, the state resources, if you don't have insurance, there's that gap. You have to fall under a certain like income level. But if you're over a certain income level, but you're still out of network, it's kind of a tricky scale. And I don't want to give parents anything else that they need to worry about. So we work with those parents individually. So if you don't have any type of insurance where, it depends on what services, we have packages. So maybe not so much this package, but you can get this package. So we will work with you, even if you don't have any insurance at all. And we'll work with you on a sliding scale based on what package you need and what services.
Great. Well, in our last few minutes together, do you want to share any more client experiences about the work you do, why you're so passionate about it?
I'm passionate about it because it works. Once the parents start feeling better about what the child is going through, the child starts feeling better. I have seen this work. It works. Parents just need knowledge, they need resources. And what knowledge and resource bring is hope. They just need hope. They need hope that their child can be, viable, their child can thrive. And that's what we provide. And there's not a child that I've seen that does not thrive. We haven't had a single client that did not thrive and that the parents did not thrive. I can say that 100%.
Mhm. And it's got to be good to work with parents as well. They must be so grateful and thankful.
They are. And a lot of them are more grateful and thankful for just the network, meeting other parents going through the same thing. And that's something that we offer, just groups that all over Texas that, hey, I'm going through that, I'm going through that. And some of the parents become friends and, Instagram. And if they're, close enough, they meet up face to face and have play dates. But sometimes it's hard for neurodiverse children to, find play dates because a lot of people around them are typically developing. So it works. It works. But sometimes the parents are left out, and it's treat the child, which is definitely important, but we have to treat the parents too, because they're a part of the circle as well.
Mm. All right. Well, thank you so much. Let's remind everyone how we can reach out for initial consultation.
For initial consultation, you can fill out a consultation form on Rose's Corner with the Z.clientsecure.me. You can also go on my Instagram and hit the link tree, and it's Rose's Corner with the Z.
Okay. With a Z. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time here as always, and wishing you an amazing rest of your day. Do you have any work for the rest of the day? Any clients you're meeting with? How late do you
It is
work?
storming outside.
Ew.
I'm hoping this internet connection survives. So today is a slippery, slopey, rainy day today. So
Oh
I'm
my
trying to
goodness.
stay online. So
All
we'll
right,
focus
good.
on that.
Enjoy. We'll talk soon, okay? Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Have a fantastic day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.